Hey guys, and welcome to episode number 50 of Limitless Studios TV. As always, check out our forum at limitless-studios.com. Click on our forum link and be sure to register there. Lots of activity going on, people posting mixes, all kinds of instrument questions, things like that, instrument recording questions, things like that. I checked this morning, it was like 163 members and over 1,000 posts. Which is pretty awesome. So there's lots of stuff going on there, limitless-studios.com, and click on the forum link in the navigation bar. So this is our episode 50, which is pretty cool. We've been going for a year now about, and or over a year, I guess. So nothing really special planned for the episode. It's just going to be a regular episode, but it's pretty cool that we hit episode 50.
Yeah, but today we're going to do a Pod XT Live kind of overview review type thing. We realize that this thing is several years old now, but most of this still applies for the Pod X3, so
which is the new version.
Yeah. So I have this here, and if you've been watching us from the beginning, you probably already knew that I had one of these because I talked about it a little bit in the our first guitar recording video. I guess
that was a while ago.
Yeah, that was like our third episode or something. So here's the pod itself, the Pod XT Live. This thing is made of some kind of aluminum or steel or something, I don't know. But it's very durable. It's meant for live use, as you can tell by the name. These buttons here are plastic, but they're still sturdy. There's a ton of stuff on here. Then you got your knobs for all of the amp settings that are the amp models that are built into this device, which I'll talk about later. Here you have a little floor pedal for your wah pedal that's included, and I think it has like a pitch shifter, whammy pedal type thing. Here you have like a little foot guard to keep from hitting these knobs, I think is what this is for, but I like to use it as a handle. It works nice. And then it's got some instructions here and here, and this is all your controls here for the digital software that's built in. Read the instruction manual that comes with the thing to figure out how to use that.
It's deep.
I'm not going to actually show you how to use it here, but this manual that I have right here, it's the one that comes with the Pod XT Live. This is a very nice manual, and it has pretty much everything you need to know right in there. Just have to read it. I'll probably also read the amp models that it comes with out of that manual here later. But on the back here, this thing is actually quite heavy. But here you have your input for your guitar. You have a normal switch and a pad switch. Normal switch will be for passive pickups or low output pickups, and the pad would be for high output pickups such as EMGs or maybe even some passive pickups that are really high output. Next you have the auxiliary input. I'm pretty sure that you can plug like a CD player into that, or plug your computer into that to play with other songs. So that's kind of cool. And then I forgot this pedal over here. It's a input for pedal 2. I'm pretty sure that they have a little expansion board that has more effect slots, and I think it might even have another wah pedal thing.
Expression pedal.
Yeah, that's what they're called. I think that's what it's for. I'm not sure. So you can check that out. Then over here you have the output to the amp. That's for connecting it to your guitar amp, or I guess your PA speakers, whatever you want. Here's your level you can adjust. It's a little knob that you can adjust to get your level. And then here is a little button for your output to be switched to the line output or the amp output. Line output I guess you would use for plugging into line inputs, such as the inputs on a mixer or something like that, and the amp of course would go to the amp. Here you have MIDI. I've never used that. I'm not exactly sure what you'd use it for. I think there's some guitar amps that use MIDI for their foot switches. I guess you could use that.
Pretty much every diesel amp you see all of their MIDI is, I mean, all of their effects loops are MIDI controlled effects.
Yeah, I've never had to use it, so.
But who knows?
But then next here you have your Vari export. It's got a little protection thing here. I'm not going to pull that off because it's like impossible to get back on. But again, I've never used that. I've never used the Vari-X guitar, so I guess it's just one cable you plug in and then you're done. But I don't really know for sure. So moving on, here we have the USB port for direct recording, which is one of the nice features about this device. Is you can plug this into your computer and download the drivers from Line 6's website, or actually I think there was a disc that was included with the Line 6 pod itself, but I just go ahead and get them off the website because they're probably updated. And you can plug this into your computer and use it as an audio interface to record your guitar tracks. You can record distortion, clean. I think you can even record just regular DIs and monitor with the distortion tones, so that you could reamp them later if you wanted. So that's kind of cool.
You can also change all the settings via software once you plug it in USB.
Yes,
which is a lot more convenient than going through the little tiny screen.
I think there's a thing called Line 6 Monkey or something like that, and it's just like a little driver that you download that allow you to change all your effects and modulation and everything through the software itself, which is pretty nice. That's what I use when I'm tweaking tones. I haven't used this in a while, but when I did use it, I used the software, because messing with all these knobs here and messing with these things for tweaking the effects is kind of annoying and kind of a pain. So doing it on the software is how I preferred to do it. Then next you have your power switch and power plug. You have to have a AC adapter, which I have in the thing in the file cabinet. I'm not going to actually turn this thing on, but that's basically all that's on this thing itself. I guess I talked about these. This is where you store all your settings, all your presets and everything. And then here you have your different banks. There's like, I don't remember how many there is, but there's quite a few user presets, and then there's already pre-programmed presets that you can overwrite if you want. But some of them are kind of nice. And then, like I said, these are to switch in between them. Right here is your amp. You can turn the amp on or off, bypass. And then here you have your stomp box for like tube screamer. There's a tube screamer pedal, and then there's other distortion pedals too, I believe. And then here's your modulation for like chorus effects. I think there was a tremolo effect that worked in the modulation. And then here you have delay for delay, obviously. And then here you have your tap tempo delay, so that's kind of nice too. There was something I was going to say, but I forgot now. It was kind of important too. Oh yeah, there's a different effects packages that you can download off the website. You have to pay for. I think there's a metal pack actually, which I was kind of interested in at one time, but I think it's like $50 or something. Might be cheaper now. I'm not quite sure. And then there's also Pod Farm, if you want to check out that. That's a nice software instrument for guitar. You'll have to have a piece of Line 6 hardware to run that, and the Pod XT Live will work with Pod Farm, I believe. So that's kind of cool. I guess we could talk about the look into this manual here.
All the different amps.
Yeah. Let's see. In here somewhere, they've got little pictures of the amplifier, and all the effects have different pictures too, so you can verify which model you're looking for. Some of the amps is the Roland JC120. It's a great clean amplifier. It's the amp that James Hetfield from Metallica always uses for his clean tones, so you can check that out. Actually, we're going to be using that probably for our Enter Sandman cover for the clean intro. Possibly
blended with an acoustic.
Yeah, with a real acoustic. And then you have, they can't actually use the names of the amplifiers, probably guessing due to copyright issues and things like that, but So they have different names for them. They have their own made-up names, but they have the model of the Mesa Boogie Mark II-C. They also have a dual rectifier, 3-channel, and that's called the tread plate dual. For metal stuff, that's the one that I hear most commonly used. Then there's several others here that some of I haven't even heard of. They got the JCM 800 by Marshall. They got a Marshall Plexi, two or three different ones actually. Then they got the Highway 100. I think they even had a Soldano in here. I don't even know if that's how you pronounce that, but yeah, right there, the Solo 100 head. Yeah. So there's a ton of different amps in here. There's some combos and just heads as well. Let's see. Is there anything else in here that's important? Make sure you read this manual too. Like I said earlier, there's a ton of stuff in here, and it teaches you how to use it in the studio for live, on stage. It teaches you how to use the Variax guitars, the MIDI, and everything. So this manual is really detailed, and I guess that's gonna be pretty much it here. Anything else that I need to talk about? Here's the harmony thing that we were talking about earlier. Synth harmony.
Oh yeah, it's got a built-in harmonizer.
It actually works pretty
cool.
well too. And then there was a whammy bar. I think it was called a pitch shifter or something. I don't know. It took me forever to find that. I guess that's pretty much it though. Here.
All kinds of stuff.
Yeah. And here's all the different reverbs and all that stuff. Yeah. This is what I like to call a tweaker device here. Because you can use it in studio recordings, but it's going to require a lot of tweaking to get some nice heavy tones with it. You're probably pretty good for clean tones or lightly distorted tones. It probably works pretty good, but for heavy distorted tones, it's really hard to emulate. So it's going to take a lot of tweaking to get that, and it's probably going to take some EQs from your DAW. So I guess that's pretty much it here.
Yep, it was, what was it, $400, something like that?
Yeah, it was like $350, $400, I don't remember exactly.
I think the X3 is even more.
Yeah.
The new one.
And then they have a rack version too that's exactly the same. So if you like rack effects, then check that one out.
Alright, I think it's going to do it for this episode 50. If you want more information about said pod,
I guess we'll have a link in the sidebar to
Yep.
the X3.
Yep, and then we'll, leave us a comment or send us a message or a video response. We don't get very many video responses. Also, as always, the easiest way to contact us would be through the forum, because we're not the only ones that would respond. We got several other people on there that are regular viewers and people who respond.
And
so,
of course, the live stream is a great way to contact us as well.
Fridays at 7:30 ish,
somewhere around in there.
Eastern Standard Time, and then on Sundays,
Usually around 3.
yeah, around 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
And that's probably the best way to contact us. We're pretty much always in the chat room looking at it, so
Yep.
we'll answer it as soon as we see it.
Alright, so I think it's going to be it. Next week we may have a review of a new guitar cabinet, if it comes to my house. And then the next week we may have the huge overhaul of the recording guitar video, which is going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's going to take a while.
Yeah, so look forward to that in the next few weeks. And also daily tips will be coming out. Got some time now to do our daily tips.
Yeah, I did a Pro Tools introduction last week, so if you haven't checked that out, go back and see that.
Yeah, it'll be the last video.
Yeah.
Before this one. So we will see you next time on another episode of Limitless Studios TV.